Hey all, happy Monday. It is May 24th. We are getting so close to the end of the school year. I'm actually really excited. I think teachers sometimes are more excited than students. But we're going to talk about a specific reformer named Martin Luther today. Today is National Brothers Day, so maybe call your brother or tell your brother you love them, even if you get really mad at them sometimes. I know my brothers drive me insane, but I'm definitely gonna shoot him a text that says, it's National Brothers Day. Thanks for being my brother. Um, but we're like I said, we're going to talk about Martin Luther, who was instrumental in the Reformation. And if you recall from Friday's lesson, it talked about how Erasmus was called, like, he laid the egg for the Reformation, and Luther hatched it. It's like the last line of the text. Um, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'll also drop a link into the Google Classroom for this really great documentary on PBS that's about him. It's called Martin Luther Driven to Defiance. All right, so for due now, we have three questions that are actually review from three different units. One is from Asia, one is from Middle Ages, and one is from our African unit. So go ahead and pause the video and you can answer those three questions. All right, so which title best completes the outline? It says archipelago, limited arable land, rugged mountains, and earthquakes. That would be two. Those were the factors of Japan. Remember, only like 25% of all of Japan you can actually farm on because of all the mountains, and it is a chain of islands. In the 1340s, the Black Death spread to Europe as a result of trade. And three, which two commodities were traded on the trans-Saharan routes by African kingdoms? That would be gold and salt. So hopefully you got those right. They are review questions, so that would be great to know that you retained something. All right, we only have one note today. We only have one word, and that word is called denomination. Or that word is denomination. And what that word means is it's a particular religious grouping within a larger faith. So, for example, the Lutheran Church is a denomination of Christianity. The Catholic Church is a denomination of Christianity. So, if you look down here, it actually has, these are all denominations of Christianity: Catholic, Baptist, Methodist, Protestant, Orthodox, all of them. Anglican, Mennonite. And so you can kind of see in this visual here how all these different denominations ultimately meet at the same goal, which is Christianity. So go ahead and pause the video and get that note down, and then we will keep it moving. All right, so this is a really interesting map. I was like surprised by some of it. This is just a map of the world, and it is color coded by what the major or prevailing or main religion is in that country. So you can see in the United States, the main religion is Protestant Christianity, so that denomination of Christianity. And then you can see in Europe, for the most part, we see Catholic Christianity. So, and we see a little bit of a mix in Germany. And then some of them are striped, which means there's like two major religions, which I was kind of expecting for the United States, but it wasn't like that. All right, this is actually the name of that video that I'm going to put a link for if you're interested in watching it, but we're going to go ahead and get started. By the early 1500s, there was a considerable turmoil in the church. In Germany, then part of the Holy Roman Empire, a priest named Martin Luther became involved in a serious dispute with church authorities. Condemned by the church, Luther broke away and began the first Protestant church. The Reformation had begun. Luther was born in Germany in 1483. Raised as a devout Catholic, he planned a career in law. As a young man, he was badly frightened when he was caught in a violent thunderstorm. As lightning flashed around him, he vowed that if he survived, he would become a monk. Luther kept his promise and joined an order of monks. Later, he became a priest. He studied the Bible thoroughly and earned a reputation as a scholar and teacher. So our first question is, why did Luther decide to become a monk? So you want to look in the text and what ultimately caused him to become a monk. So go ahead and pause the video and answer that question. All right. So Luther thought he was going to die in a thunderstorm. He did not, so he believes that God intervened and he devoted his life to the church. Or that he would become a monk, which is devoting your life to the church. So I found that right here, and I put it in my own words and paraphrased it and put my own little spin on it for here, so I didn't just copy it verbatim from the text. So pause and get that down. That's really important. All right, we'll read one more together and then I will explain the rest of your assignment because it's a little bit different today. Like many Christians of his time, Luther asked the question, what must I do to be saved? Or what must I do to get to heaven? The church stressed that keeping the sacraments and living a good life were the keys to salvation. Luther's studies of the Bible led him to a different answer. No one, he believed, could earn salvation. Instead, salvation was a gift from God that people received in faith. People, he said, were saved by their faith, not good works. Luther's views brought him into conflict with the church over indulgences, in which you should know what those are. In 1517, Pope Leo X needed money to finish building St. Peter's, the grand cathedral in Rome, which is still there. I sang there. He sent preachers around Europe to sell indulgences. Buyers were promised pardons of all of their sins and those of friends and family. Luther was outraged. He felt that the church was selling false salvation to uneducated people. Luther posted a list of argument called Theses against indulgences and church abuses on the church door in the town of Wittenberg. He also sent the list called the 95 Theses to church leaders. Luther's ideas caused considerable controversy. Many people were excited by his ideas while the church condemned them. Gradually, he was drawn into more serious disagreements with church authorities. So second question here is, what were the 95 Theses? And then why did he post them on the door of the Church of Wittenberg? So go ahead and pause and answer those questions, and we'll go over it in just a couple minutes. The 95 Theses was a list of arguments against the abuses of the church as well as indulgences. And then he posted them because he was angry with the church and wanted to make a statement because he believed what the church was doing was wrong. So go ahead and pause and get those answers down if you're like way out in left field. If you have similar things, you're fine. All right, so for independent practice, you're going to finish reading about Martin Luther. What did he believe was the ultimate source of religious authority? What occurred at the Diet of Worms? You'll answer those. You'll answer 2 more questions when he starts his own church. And then you aren't done, in Google Classroom, under where all the materials are, there's a link to a program called Quizzes, and there is a posted assignment about Martin Luther on there that I would like you to complete. It's all multiple choice questions that are just revolved around today's lesson and a little bit of connecting the dots between things we've already learned about and today. All right, so then you are done, and I will see you tomorrow. We're going to talk about a couple more people, John Calvin, King Henry VIII, and then we will move on to the spread and impact of the Reformation. So I will see you all tomorrow, and have a wonderful day.